Superstar.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the SCB Steelers podcast presented by Deck Roofing Incorporated of South Florida, who I am sure is waiting for calls to come from the north of them to go fix more roofs in Florida after yet another hurricane swings by there. So the more money Deck makes, the more money we make. So I'm all for it. In any case, welcome back. Good to have everybody with us. I see we got a few live folks in already. So thanks to you folks for doing that. Jump right on in. And those of you listening on the tape delay, thank you for doing so. We are glad to have you. I'm sure Ian will be along shortly. Scarps and Ben are here. And gentlemen, I'm going to start out by asking you, Ryan Scarpino, what did you do on your bye week Sunday?
A little bit of lawn maintenance.
Lawn maintenance.
Yeah.
All right.
Up on the roof, James Taylor.
Okay.
I hate myself. Yeah, to clean out the gutters.
Oh, love it.
Rake the leaves. Yeah, that's
Nothing says home ownership like cleaning the gutters.
Fuck.
Man. Yeah.
Fire up the mower. yeah, Ben. Fuck those leaves. I agree.
Right. And Ben, what did you do on your Sunday off?
I drank.
Oh, there's a shocker. Did you guys still have a gathering at the local establishment?
No.
Okay.
I'm drinking Jubal, by the way. Jubal Ale. Your favorite.
Yeah.
Mark loves this stuff.
Tasty.
Nice.
It's a nice winter ale. No, we were, I don't know whose idea it was. I can't remember. Somebody said, hey, let's go bowling. I was like, bowling? Yeah, all right, fine, let's go bowling.
The dude
and so we went bowling and we drank, and then we went to a bar and drank some more. Yeah, it was.
Do you guys play with the gutter bumpers in or
no?
Okay.
We just sucked without the bumpers.
Jerome
Bettis, we are not.
Right. Yeah, the bus.
Jerome is a really good bowler.
Yes,
he's actually bowled a perfect game before.
He has.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
He is a big time bowler. Hey, when you're from Michigan, man, you better know how to freaking bowl. I mean, that's all there is to it. And he lived up to that, being from Detroit.
Well, you're from Michigan. Can you bowl?
I can.
Yeah, any good? What's your average there, buddy?
When I was much younger, I haven't bowled in a long time, but I had my average around 170, 180.
Wow. I think my average on Sunday was about 90 something.
Yeah, which wasn't bad. My grandfather was a great bowler. He used to take me all the time. He was like a 220 guy, and stuff. But yeah.
Damn.
So but that's just the thing where I'm from. You bowl because that's what you do in the winter. You either ice fish or you bowl.
Ice fish or bowl. Huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
so let's talk some Steelers. Something. We got the Saints rolling in this week, and we were talking just before the show started. I think people are really overestimating this New Orleans team coming in here. I think they see Andy Dalton.
Wait. Overestimating or underestimating?
Under.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, underestimating. Yes. I was thinking Steelers and Saints, and whatever. Yes, I think that they're seeing Andy Dalton, and they're getting flashbacks to the Bengals days, and thinking this is going to be a cakewalk. I personally, I don't see it that way, but that's just me. Ben, what's your just overall?
First, I think they have a better offense than what we were accustomed to seeing back in the day with the Bungles. Except, remember, Andy Dalton was a second-team All-Pro one year in Cincinnati. Yeah. He was, and that was because he had a very good offensive line, which illustrates the point that if you have a good offensive line, you can put a mediocre quarterback behind them, and he can have success. Okay,
definitely.
Andy fucking Dalton was voted by the AP as the second best quarterback in the entire league. All right. Moving on.
Right.
I think that this offense is a little better than the one we were accustomed to seeing with the Bunkles back in the day. This defense is good, period.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
In the end, this defense is good. The Saints did not look good on Monday night. They're coming off a short week. I think a lot of people are considering that when they're making their predictions, yada, yada. The Steelers are rested. The Steelers always start slow after a bye.
They do. They do. It's in history, man.
Time. It's frustrating as hell.
Yep.
So, I foresee what's probably going to be a good defensive battle. Bet the under, but I'm not chalking this up as a win because
no,
the Steelers' offense is pathetic.
Yeah, I mean we'll have plenty of time to get to our predictions, but
unless Andy Dalton throws a couple pick sixes, in which case, hey, cool, we're winning. Gladly.
Scarps,
you never know; it's possible.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah, it is. Hell yeah, yeah. Scarps are people underestimating these Saints.
Yeah. I don't, especially now that we've seen what the Steelers are, and you could say, well, TJ Watt's coming back, but
let's talk about that next too.
We'll get
there isn't a game like this is, Steelers want to talk about, Steelers fans want to talk about any given Sunday when they were thinking that somehow they were going to beat the Bills at Buffalo. Well, on the reverse, there should be no game on this schedule where you think that there's this is a definite win. Like this isn't Duke versus Cal State Northridge in November at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Like there's no cupcakes, there's no gimmies. Right. So I think Steelers fans are trying to seek comfort in the fact that TJ Watt's coming back. They're 2-6, and historically the Steelers rebound when they're under 500, especially under Mike Tomlin. And you know what, though? To me, that just shows that Steelers fans are just very, very okay with getting around that 7-8-9 win mark.
I don't think so.
And yeah, I mean, I do. I think that the Steelers fans, as much as they don't want to talk about that non-losing season, I think that is something that they hang their hat on.
Sure.
Especially
it's better than being a perennial fucking loser like the Browns have been for a couple
that's
of
fine.
Right.
But especially to say, hey, look how shitty we started and our first year without Ben, and hey, we made it to 9-8 or whatever it is. But anyway,
hey, if they got to 9-8, that would be a small fucking miracle.
Oh my God.
7-2 in the second half.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
you're goddamn right. I'd hang my hat on that. I'd be like, God, see how great they were.
9-8.
I'm not saying they're going to do that, but
9-8, and you draft 20th as opposed to top 10.
Well,
but whatever.
Again, that's another topic we're going to get to.
But yes,
which we should get to.
But yes, we will. But yes, fans are not. Fans are not giving the Saints their due. I know they're 3-6, but they're also in a terrible division. That they can somehow still win. But Andy Dalton doesn't have the best success against the Steelers in his career, but he knows them, and they really haven't changed much when it comes to defense. He has faced TJ Watt. Like this isn't anything new. But I do believe that he has a little bit better weapons than he did. Rather than Gio Bernard and Jeremy Hill, he's got Alvin Kamara, who's really, really good. Chris Olave is really good. Now Michael Thomas is on an IR.
Right.
And so is
you still got Hill, who is
then
crazy talented.
Yep, he's a weapon.
Who the hell's Jarvis Landry's been injured too.
Yep.
But there's another guy who's familiar with the Steelers. But anyway, yes, and then getting back to their defense, Cameron Jordan is a really solid player. Another Cam from that 2011 draft. They got good secondary, they got decent linebackers, and I don't understand where this confidence is coming from. That's why Ian is the worst. Hey,
what's up, guys?
Yes, good timing, Ian. Yes, it was the Ian Bash 5-minute opening. No, I'm kidding. Just chatting here a little bit how we think a lot of Steelers fans are underestimating the Saints a little bit. I think people have had this kind of circled as a W. Hey, we're coming out of the bye. We got 2 home games. The Saints suck. I personally, I just don't feel that way. We'll get to all the specifics when we get to predictions and stuff later in the show. But that's just kind of what we were chatting about. And the TJ Watt thing. Let's talk about that for a minute. Terrell Austin said this week that he's going to be on a bit of a pitch count. Is it just me? And Ian, I'll throw this to you first. But if I'm bringing back my All-Pro guy, my Defensive Player of the Year guy, aren't I expecting him to be as good as he possibly can? Do I really want to put him on a pitch count?
Yeah. Yeah. If it protects his long-term health and works him back in, he hasn't had NFL contact in 8 weeks, 6 weeks. So
he can't be in football shape yet.
Yeah. Right. So, I'm fine with it. It's TJ Watt is better at 50% than whoever they have than Malik Reed is at 100%. But you don't want to lose TJ Watt the rest of the season by trying to play him 60 snaps this week. So I think you're better off, pick and choose your battles, let him go out there, play him on third downs. I mean, heck, use him as just a pass rush specialist. Yes, he's great against the run, but they've found other ways to kind of deal with the run defense with, some of the other guys they've worked in. So I'm fine with it. Okay. One game having him on limited snaps. They've said they've put guys on limited snaps before, and then the fourth quarter comes around and they're playing every down, and they wind up with 40-some snaps in a game. It's like, oh well, we needed them in that situation. So
that 40 snaps is better than 65.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. What is a feasible expectation for him though? I mean,
no idea.
Against Andy Dalton, 2.5 sacks, and
and their line's a little banged up.
Yeah, they don't have the best line, and they are banged up. Okay, nope. I don't think either offense is gonna light the world up, and I think you've got defenses that are both pretty strong, as I alluded to before. With Watt coming back, especially, even if he isn't quite himself, just the specter of having Watt there on the right side,
yeah, absolutely,
is going to make the offense stop and go, okay, we need to do something here to scheme for this guy. And, hopefully it'll open some things up for guys like Cam Hayward, who's been less effective because he keeps getting doubled, for example. But, we'll see.
Is it fair to think?
As far as Watt goes, I don't think that he's going to be in football shape. I don't think that putting him on a pitch count is at all unreasonable.
Shut up, Ben. He's built different.
Yeah. I also, since we're talking about it, don't think he'll be 100% for the rest of the season. And I'm going to harken back to, and I talked about this before, when Stephon Tuitt came back from tearing his bicep.
Yep.
He was not the same player. Okay? And TJ will be better than Malik Reed, or DeMarvin Leal, or Loudermilk, the guys they've been using in his place. But I don't expect him to be his dominant self until, next August.
So, dumb question, but I'll ask it. If he's not close to 100%, why even put him out there and risk it?
Because you've mitigated the risk by having him rest for, 8 weeks?
9 weeks.
So you've given that injury a chance to heal.
And TJ Watt at 75% is better than Malik Reed at 100%.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that at all. I'm thinking exactly
what I'm saying is if the risk of re-injury is minimal, you go ahead and you play him. If it becomes an issue and he needs to come out, and he's going, I don't know, it kind of feels like, and the doctors take a look at it and they're like, I don't know. And you just pull him. Yeah, and maybe you sit him the rest of the year. But I'm not saying that's going to happen, and I'm not even saying it's likely. I'm just saying, you weigh the risks versus the benefit. You're paying the guy, $20 million plus a year.
Yep.
You
let's
play him.
Let's also not forget that he had his knee taken care of too while he was out.
Fucking game.
So
Look at how easy it was for him to run that ball into the end zone.
The Thursday
I'm jealous.
night product is fucking terrible.
You guys are tuned into that. I actually turned it off and started watching James Bond.
Oh, that's a good decision, especially in November.
Absolutely.
So
From Russia with Love was on, so I started watching
good
that.
choice. Very good choice.
It's a great one.
Regarding TJ, and I had, I have said this on record that I don't want them to rush him back.
Agreed.
And I felt that like that Miami game or would have been it. Yep. At this point, as long as he passes everything and he's clear and he's cleared or whatever, I'm fine with that.
Sure.
I just want to say this though to Steelers Nation that's listening. It's not Minkah who's the franchise. It's not Cam Hayward who's the franchise. It's not even Kenny Pickett. It's TJ Watt.
Yeah.
So you need to be conscious of that. And again, if he's cleared, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But this team is 2-6. The best they could hope for is that 8-9, 9-8. Yep. Avoid that losing season. Because
probably not gonna.
But I'm saying that like
best case,
if he only plays half the snaps for the first couple games, or maybe he only plays half the snaps for the rest of the year. I don't know. Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is just be real about it and be rational.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, you know what? He is an unbelievable football player, right. But he is
when he's 100% healthy.
He's human.
When he's 100% healthy. And a pec tear is no small thing.
No,
Dill Winnett says they could finish 7.
Dill Winnett is all over it.
I can't deal with it.
Welcome in, Dill Winnett.
I don't see it. I don't see him winning 10 games.
I believe Dill Winnett's a first-time viewer. Welcome in, Dill Winnett.
It would take a small.
That might be TJ Watt's burner.
It could be.
Dill Winnett? No, it's probably Big Ben's burner under a different name.
What makes that kind of difference?
Hey,
wow.
By the way, what's everybody drinking tonight? Ian?
Yes, I am drinking in honor of today being November 10th, and Edmund Fitzgerald Porter, because today is the anniversary of the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yes, it is 1974.
Oh,
75, I think.
I picked up
Lightfoot. Call God.
I picked up Jameson. This is
that's
the
good. The IPA
edition. Very good.
I like the stout one too. The stout one.
Yeah, I like the stout one.
Okay, really haven't tried that one yet, but I also picked up a Bradshaw bourbon, but I am not cracking into it until we win another game.
What batch is it? Batch
it's still
what?
2. Charlie.
I got a 2. No. I was stunned.
I've had a 3 and a 4. I still have
wow,
1.
Really?
I have a 1 that I haven't opened.
Right.
I'm not going to open.
Yeah.
And
I know. I was stunned.
I have dreams of finding a batch number 12 someday that I'm not going to open either.
Amen. So what are you drinking tonight, though, Benjamin?
Oh, I am drinking Jubal Ale, which I mentioned before because I wanted to make you jealous.
Absolutely.
Because it's delicious. And I'm drinking Uncle Nearest 1856.
There we go. Uncle
which
Nearest.
Is really good shit. And it's really it's a bourbon and winter ale kind of a night.
Oh, lovely.
It's cold outside.
Yeah, it was 75 here today.
It's not that.
It's so bizarre, man. It's like it was in the 30s this morning.
Yep.
The high was like 47. It feels like January.
Yeah, that's what's coming here. Yeah.
This is not. This is weird.
Scarps, what are you drinking?
Ice.
Gasoline.
Is it straight vodka?
Don't be judging. It is vodka.
Straight corn alcohol.
Seriously. Are you drinking the moonshine again?
No, it's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. A couple vodka and tonics to get you on your feet again. Also, shout out Gordon Lightfoot. He is from Canada. Chris is mentioning that.
He's definitely from Canada.
If you could read my
mind low. Yeah. Anyway, I want to go back to this topic here a little bit about where the Steelers could finish, but I'm going to put a little bit of a twist on it. Ben,
Blanton's very nice choice, Melvin.
Way to be, Melvin.
What would it take for Matt Canada to return in 2023?
Good grief.
What would it take?
Yes. Seriously, because there's always a scenario.
Seriously.
Yeah.
The Steelers going like 8-1 or 7-2 over the final stretch.
Okay. Yeah.
And the offense being in a large part responsible for that. Not just a bunch of defensive turnovers and shutouts. And what the hell was that?
Oh, Crown Roost. It's only $9.
Jeez.
$9.99.
We gotta
gotta
get
be
this poor kid
shitting
some
me.
alcohol, man.
Wow.
This poor
Listen.
kid shopping at the bargain section.
If I'm gonna mix it with a tonic or something else, why would I drink an expensive vodka?
Okay.
Well, we can talk about it later. I'll give you some pointers.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what cheap shit to buy. Anyway, what was the question?
What would it take for Matt Canada to return?
What would it
Right.
take for Matt Canada to return so that all Steelers fans could prepare themselves for ritual suicide?
Hail Bob Comet.
I'm going to go. I mean, honestly, it would have to be a deal where the Steelers finished really strong, like winning record strong after starting 2-6, and also that the offense was in large part responsible for that somehow, some way. But given the scheme that we run, that shit ain't going to happen.
No, I
Yes,
agree.
Chris. Nice comment.
Chris on the spot there.
Yeah,
Ian,
Chris is right.
What do you
Really
think,
should
Ian?
put that shit in a brown paper bag.
What would it take?
Oh gosh. I mean, they'd have to like average 100 rushing yards a game, start putting up like at least 3 touchdowns a game, if not more.
Well, they can average 100 yards
And-
rushing yards a game now easily. They just have to run the ball like 30 times.
Well, yeah, but they don't get 30 offensive plays because they can't get first downs.
Exactly.
So, yeah. All right. But also, I mean, to add on to what Ben said, that, basically, I think Kenny Pickett would really have to go to bat for Matt Canada and be like, I love working with this guy. I need him as my offensive coordinator.
Yeah. That's
know,
a good one. That's a
Yeah.
good point right there.
His level of confidence in there.
But if you have receivers who are still throwing up their hands and trying to call their own plays and suggesting different play calls, it doesn't matter what Canada's calling, the message ain't getting through in the huddle. And it's the right now we've talked about this before. The players don't have faith in the plays they're running, and you can tell because they're not running them well. So even if they're well designed plays, the execution is terrible, and some of the plays are terrible, and some of the play calls, the down and distance situations they choose to run them in are terrible.
Amen.
So there's a lot of problems right now.
The red zone package in particular is fucking pathetic.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's I mean, I thought Randy Fichtner was bad. Holy shit, this is worse. Wow.
Yeah, it none of it makes sense. From first down, second down, there doesn't make sense.
And part of the problem is hey, Derek's here.
Derek's in.
Part of the problem
Operation
is
shutdown.
they don't have enough plays in the red zone to even like figure out what works and what doesn't work, because they're lucky if they get to the red zone once per game.
Touche. Yeah.
So yeah.
Scarps, what would it take for Matt
Derek's a
Canada?
good dude. Thanks
Look
for
at
joining us,
Melvin
Derek.
making a joke.
Scarps, you think Canada's got a chance to come back?
Yeah, and I really don't think it's going to take that much. I think he's going to be back next year. And I said that I just got that vibe, man.
Tell us why.
I'm getting that feeling.
Give us the reasons why.
Because
you got some
because
info,
his
man.
first, I don't have fucking it. Yeah, I've been drinking. No, his first year was with Ben, right? We all know that, and
Yep.
Ben did it. Ben, I think Ben went with it as much as he could, and then had called his own plays. And yes, okay, we've all talked about that ad nauseum.
Sure.
Let's say Ben went with it like 51% of the time.
Okay, so this is Canada's first year with Pickett. Pickens is a rookie. They still got they have a lot of young players. Like their core group on offense is young. And if Mike Tomlin believed in Matt Canada that much, Derek, I'm with you, man. I'm just prepping our listeners for
He's
what
just-
might happen.
He's just letting the listeners know that they should go ahead and prepare for suicide now, rather than at the end of the season.
If you thought that Steelers Kool-Aid earlier this year was strong, wait till you try this stuff.
Hey, man, the offseason Kool-Aid is always strong. You know that.
For sure.
And I really just believe that they're gonna look at this and say, okay, we got a lot of young players. This is Canada's first experience without Ben. Pickett's a rookie. And they'll, maybe they say, Mitch just wasn't the right style or scheme for Mitch or whatever, but I just would not be surprised if he's back next year.
I really, really hope you're wrong. But I also don't
I
think
hope I'm wrong too.
Right.
I don't think you're right, like rationally. And it has everything to do with the fact that the players just do not believe in what they're being asked to do.
That's what I come back to as well.
And
how do you know that? Because Chase Claypool gets a little pissed off?
No, not
because
Chase. Actually, Chase was the guy who was the most mature about it during games, as you pointed out.
Okay, so
I
who's
see frustration from
DJ more than anybody.
I'm sorry, DJ.
Yeah.
From Pickens.
Yeah.
I see frustration from Najee. I see frustration.
Najee sucks.
From linemen.
Whose fault is it though when Mitch or Kenny miss a wide open receiver?
The quarterback.
What?
Absolutely.
So is that so?
But
Canada sucks.
Hang on. We also don't know in what order they are supposed to be reading their progressions. Okay. Without that knowledge, without knowing that when we watch the plays, we don't know if he's supposed to be going there or if he's supposed to be over here. So that being the case, it's like, well, fuck. How do I judge this? It's such a hodgepodge. It's such a horrible fucking offense that it's really difficult. I'm sorry, it is. It's
no,
really
I was
difficult.
laughing at Melvin's comment. I ain't laughing at you.
It's really difficult to evaluate the play of these players because the offensive scheme is so fucking bad. It's awful.
To me, that's more of
the scheme. He's directly responsible for the scheme. We know the scheme is bad.
There
are other pieces that are bad too, in particular left tackle. But
I'm just trying to think like the Steelers have thought over the past 5 years and acting like everything's okay and nothing's wrong. I
told you guys 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, that Canada wasn't going to get fired. I'd heard because Art didn't want to pay him to sit at home. All right. So there's that.
Yeah.
And I said it. Scarps did. That was me, Ben. So, and that wasn't my opinion. That was something I was told by somebody who just has an opinion. He didn't ask Art.
Right.
That would have been the worst conversation of all time. Oh, man, I got to tone it down. Give me a sec. Whew.
That's a really good time for me to say. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TPPN. Get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Just place a $5 bet on any football game only at DraftKings Sportsbook using code TPPN. That is the Pigskin Podcast Network, which we are very proud to be part of, boys and girls. So download it. Win yourself some money. I mean, it's just gambling. It's super easy, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I still don't think Najee sucks. I do not. I get where people are frustrated with Najee, especially after last week, 2 weeks ago. I think a couple of weeks ago, Najee was trying to do too much. A number of guys were trying to do too much, and they looked like shit as a result.
All right, here's one for you. Deontay Foreman right now for the
Panthers. I just saw that.
They just talked about this earlier that he got cut by the Falcons.
Look at that shit.
They got cut by the Falcons 2021 training camp.
Yeah.
And then his dad was killed. His dad was a semi-truck driver, I believe, and he was killed in an accident or whatever. And then he got the call from the Titans, and he did really well for them last year.
Yeah,
this dude, like, he is by no means like, amazing, but he does a hell of a job. And now, okay,
he grinds like Jalen.
But you mean to tell me that this guy has more talent than Najee Harris?
Nope.
No chance.
I do not think that. I think
I
Najee Harris
I know
is frustrated, trying to do too much, not just doing his fucking job. They all need to do their damn jobs first and then worry about the scheme and the coaching and what's being called.
That's what I mean. But like, you want to talk about, okay, yeah, I agree. The scheme sucks or whatever, but
it's terrible.
But part of being a head coach or being a whatever coach is being like, buy in and do your fucking job.
Yeah.
Like, that to me is the biggest thing. To me, it's just like, they don't have anybody telling them this. They don't have a, sorry, Ian, go ahead. I've been talking a ton.
No, you're good. You're good.
That point.
I was finish that point because then I'm going to jump off on it.
They don't have it. Like I talked about that on the show. They don't have a Jericho Cotchery. They don't have a Darius Hayward Bay.
Yes.
They don't have
James Ferrier.
They don't. On defense, they don't have a fucking Heath Miller.
James Ferrier led the whole goddamn team.
Yes, but I was just talking on offense. I'm just saying, like, I get what you're saying. Yes. I agree. Like,
yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a lack of leadership. There's a lack of veteran leadership on offense. And it shows. I mean, what, Chuks Okorafor is the most tenured guy on the team, and he's like a mediocre right tackle at best. Right. Like, that's good. And
who got a lot of money.
Well, he was a lot better than before last week, 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
yeah.
Jesus, what the hell happened there?
You've got a second-year running back who's a team captain. Your backup quarterback is your other team captain now because you benched him for Kenny Pickett, and like we've said on the show, the toothpaste is out of the tube there. You're not putting it back in. So you're not putting Mitch back in unless Pickett gets hurt. Right. They went out and signed James Daniels, who's like 26, 27 years old. Same with Mason Cole. They've got like no one over 25 years old in the receiver room. So there's no been there, done that guys. And then you've got an offensive coordinator who's like not that old either, and is his first offensive coordinator gig in the league. And then you've got these position coaches who are also, first-time position coaches in the league, that there's no one on offense between players and coaches that have been there and done that can command respect, right? That when you had, Darryl Drake.
The offensive line coach has been around for a while. The quarterback's coach has been around for a while.
Okay, but when you had
the
like
tight ends coach definitely commands.
Yeah, respect. Alfredo Roberts, Eddie Faulkner, Frisman Jackson, like they've been around. But I will say that this is just based on my experience working there. They don't even have I don't even know these guys, but I know they don't command a presence like a Todd Haley or a Mike Munchak or
a Munch. No, you're right about that.
Or even like Darryl Drake or someone like that, right? Yes. And the other thing is, they go out and they sign these assistant coaches from dog shit teams and expect them to come in here and be good. Like, and this is somewhat a commentary on Tomlin, but not entirely, because to his credit, like in the past, when we had invested high draft picks in people, right? When we got Le'Veon Bell, who did they go out and get as their running back coach? The guy from Minnesota who had been Adrian Peterson's running back coach, right? Yeah, James Saxon. So, like, they went out and got a guy
James Saxon was a damn good coach.
Right. Yeah. But they went out and got a guy who had proven he could develop someone into an all-pro, right? When they had, Antonio Brown and Emmanuel Sanders coming up and all that, they wanted Ben to take less hits, right? They went out and got Todd Haley to be their offensive coordinator, who was the coordinator in Arizona and Darryl Drake, right? The Arizona guys who had Fitz and Bolden and all those guys.
Richard Mann.
And Richard
Mann. Yes, Richard Mann was the man.
Yeah. Yes. That dude was literally, God bless him. Like, he was older, but but he was like kind of like, they had John Mitchell on defense and LeBeau too. Like, like Richard Mann was like that guy on the offense. Like, he was older than everybody else. But like, I mean, you want to talk you
heard about right, Melvin.
Tomlin controlling Antonio Brown. I think Richard Mann had a big part in that whole thing. Point.
Yeah.
They just, but you're right. They don't have those guys.
There's no one that can command that respect in the whole building on offense, right? There's no one that can say, I've been there and done that. You should listen to me.
Yeah.
No, you're spot on. And I think Steelers Freaks comment, I think, needs to go on a shirt. Every time I tell myself to stop drinking, the Blitz boys drag me back in.
Right on.
That is one of the more
hell yes
poetic, beautiful things I've ever seen.
Bring
in
me
hosting
back.
this
Here's to ya.
podcast for 10 years.
Well,
You gotta send him
um,
some koozies, Mark.
Yeah, we're
Be
gonna
right
have to.
back.
Yes.
let's send him some booze.
Yeah,
Where did he go to take a pee break?
probably.
Hey man, this is a judgment-free zone. This is Planet Fitness. Okay?
This is not the Purple Gym. I'm sorry, my friend. It's not. To Ian's point, it's a combination of things. But yeah, there is. You've got a first-time OC, but like I said, Sullivan's been around. The offensive line coach has been around. Pat Meyer's been around.
Yes.
Yeah,
Denver,
I think Alfredo Roberts, the tight ends coach, definitely commands respect. There are some other guys that don't, and you got a lot of young talent. Bigger problem for me, and I know I keep coming back to this fucking point, but the offensive line, when the foundation of your unit sucks,
ass. Yes.
the rest of the unit will follow. Period. The end. And there are three things with the offensive line that are not what they once were. Okay. One, they've had 4 coaches in 3 seasons.
You can't dismiss that.
Four
Yep.
coaches in 3 seasons.
Yep.
And those coaches all come in. They've got their own ideas, their own techniques, different hand placement, different combo blocking, different schemes. They ask them to do different things in the run game, in the passing game. There's no consistency there. None. Okay. It's number one. Number two, when Munch was there, Munch had a bunch of guys who were unrestricted free agents. Excuse me, undrafted free agents.
Right.
That he developed over time, and he made them competent starters.
And then they got paid.
A bunch of those guys are millionaires as a result of the fact that they worked with Munch. Okay. One of them plays in Cleveland now, Chris Hubbard.
Yep.
He's been hurt a lot, though.
He's been hurt a lot.
He has, but
he hasn't played nearly as well since he left Pittsburgh. But basically, he owes his livelihood to the fact that he played under Munchak. And there are a whole bunch of those guys that made money because Munch developed them into competent players by playing to their strengths.
Yeah.
And by asking the team to play to their strengths. That is also missing. And number 3, the obvious thing, they haven't used a high round draft pick on an offensive lineman since 2012, David DeCastro. And that is a fucking problem. We keep taking skill positions over foundational type players like linemen.
Yep.
And it's fucking huge.
I'm
sorry.
It's absolutely caught up with us.
It's been a decade.
Yeah.
It's way past time.
Yeah.
Can I
The
add
last
a number
2 years
4?
in particular, they ignored the hell out of the line.
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll just take a guy in the 4th
Right.
round.
You just Go ahead, Ian.
Yeah. And number 4, they're not playing with any attitude. Even if you're not good, if you go out there and just try and kick the ass of the guy across from you, like at least you're playing with effort and not getting your butt whipped every
There's
time.
no dog. There's no guy.
Remember, you want to talk about attitude? Remember Chris Kimoyatu?
Yes.
And how much attitude he had, and how many penalties he had as a result of that attitude. That guy,
he took
and
holding
it was
penalties though.
It wasn't just holding penalties. It was after the snap penalties. It was after the whistle penalties.
Yeah.
It was before the snap penalties. It was constant fucking penalties because he was so aggressive. So what he lacked in talent, and let's be honest, the guy wasn't that talented. He tried to make up for it with aggression, and it didn't work out very well.
You've got to control the aggression though, but you still have to I mean, Kevin Dotson looks clueless out there, right? Like
Kevin Dotson looks like he doesn't know what he's being asked to do.
Yeah.
Prior
oh my
to
goodness,
this,
Marcus Mariota just threw the most hilarious interception of all time.
Oh God damn it, you're ahead. Stop.
I really hope this counts as an
stop talking.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
That is fucking amazing. I agree. That's fantastic. Go!
God,
go!
Some of us are trying to host a show. I don't have time to watch.
Oh, that was so close.
Well, it's your fault for scheduling a show on a Thursday night, Mark.
Shut up, Ian.
Oh my God, that was like fucking Three Stooges.
I do want to mention another issue that we have, and that's the fact that our All-Pro kicker is now on IR. Chris Boswell went on IR.
At least they put him on IR this time instead of letting him try and play through it.
Exactly.
Remember what happened the last fucking time?
Yep. He's down minimum 4 weeks, right?
Yes.
And Matthew Wright was brought in, and I have to believe.
Isn't he down there? I think he's down.
He's down. His ass was on the ground.
Which makes you wonder though.
And he
right?
threw the ball further than Kenny Pickett while sitting on his ass.
Ian, you and I will have a show. They can watch the Falcons game.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Stop talking over each other.
All right. It makes you wonder though. Why did they wait until after the bye week to put Boswell on IR? Right? They could have put him on IR 2 weeks ago because he missed the game, and he could have already been 2 weeks into his potential 4-week recovery period.
Because they thought that maybe he would recover in time to play this week, and then they got here and they realized, okay, he's not going to recover. It is what it is. He probably needs to have sports hernia surgery or something along those lines. Yeah,
and Schema was okay when he was place kicking, but his kickoffs were atrocious. And I have to believe that's why he's gone.
Yeah.
And that they went and got
Matthew Wright. Matthew Wright doesn't have a real good leg either.
No.
Strong leg. But he's very accurate.
Yes. Now, he was signed off the Kansas City practice squad, which means he has to go active roster, right?
Yeah.
So,
yes, but
which obviously
given
isn't
the
a problem.
fact, yes. But given the fact that Boswell is gone, he would be on the active roster anyway. So it really doesn't make any difference.
Right, but what is the rule as far as when you sign a practice squad guy?
He has to go on your active roster for 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay, that was the question I had. Yep. Okay.
But they're not gonna bump him off at the end and be like, yeah, we're gonna put you on the practice squad so we can pay you less.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, if you activate a player, those guys that go inactive, active roster on Sunday,
right?
They get paid like they're on the roster that week.
Yeah.
It used to be a deal where when you push the guy up from the practice squad. This is pre-COVID.
Yeah.
When you push the guy up from the practice squad onto the active roster, you had to roster him for a minimum of 3 weeks and pay him.
Yeah.
And if you cut him, you still had to pay him 2 more weeks.
Yeah. Nice. Ian, go ahead.
Wait, Scarps, do you have any thoughts on the Boz situation? Because I have an important thing to mention.
Scarps is drinking his gasoline there.
Wait, Ian's wife's pregnant again.
No.
Not
that important.
Number 11.
No, I did have something to say about Boz. Yeah, we talked about the salvaging the non-losing season earlier.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares?
It's real whether you would choose to believe it or not.
I'm just saying, for me personally, it means dick.
I don't think Tomlin gives a shit about it either.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he did unsolicitedly tell Peter King, "Bring it on," quote me in training camp.
He said this week, I've been 2-6 before. I know what this is like.
This is not the same.
Listen,
Tomlin
is a very, very smart guy.
Yep.
I've seen the side of him that and I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm just saying that I've seen the side of him that you don't get to see in the press conference. So what he does in those press conferences is very tactical. So for him to say that to Peter King,
he says a whole lot of
every once in a while he slips up and shows that he's human. But I'm like, man, I really wish he wouldn't have did it. Anyway. So
freak. That's just they're saving it for the second half of the season, man. They're going to be a 30-point a game offense in the second half for sure.
Canada,
sarcasm. Asterisk sarcasm.
They, I think it's actually a big loss, and I actually feel bad for Matthew Wright because all those times when Tomlin would send out Boz when he was living in his fears, you're like, I can't believe he's doing it to Boz. Right. Now they're going to do it to Matthew Wright.
Will they? What's Matthew Wright's range? 40 yards in?
No, he had a 59-yarder last year in London, I'm pretty sure, when he was playing for the Jaguars. So, but
say that again, please.
Huh?
The Jag what?
Jaguars.
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 Jagging on my wires. All right. So, but no. And I'm going to say this, and I don't want to, obviously pile on Boz as he's hurt, but you do see, besides, Justin Tucker, you do see teams go through kickers all the time.
Yep.
So I do think that he's I do think he's definitely one of the best kickers in the league, but if he is hurt, I don't know what that means long term. And yeah, I'm just saying that, like, in the Steeler way, they will keep him around.
Sure.
But what happens if, like, he doesn't have much left after the surgery? I don't know.
Right.
Or whatever. If whatever.
Yeah.
If he has to have
he's
surgery.
Going to have surgery. My guess is if he needs to have, and I'm guessing, purely speculating right now. I want to make that clear.
Mm-hmm.
If he needs to have surgery, he's not going to have it until after the season.
Okay. So.
Fully guaranteed money on his latest contract.
Answer Steelers Freak's question about how many of the 120 points we've scored are Boz, it's 45.
Oh my God!
Wow.
But the other thing, and I've talked about this on the show before too, is that right now it seems like anytime we get to the 40-yard line, we call the stupidest fucking plays because we're like, well, Boz can make a field goal from here, so. We'll just play for 3. Maybe now they'll actually take some shots for the end zone and try and score some friggin' touchdowns for once. Like Warren Sharp, his good football analysis, sometimes bad.
Here's a guy kicking a 65-yard field goal.
Yeah, but no. Warren Sharp tweeted this week like what the longest touchdown for each team is.
Oh God!
And the Steelers' longest offensive touchdown this year is 8 yards. 8 yards. Like, maybe they'll actually try and throw for the end zone from a little bit farther out.
That was about 20 yards less than the next one up, wasn't it?
Yeah. The Chargers were 23. They were 7
it was exactly.
And I said 15. That
it was only 15 yards, Mark.
My bad.
Don't exaggerate. Don't be a dick. God.
But if you think about that,
they really suck or something. Actually, they do.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
We really
and they have
suck.
they've had injuries, but they're much better on offense than the Steelers.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the show, I mentioned that I was drinking the Edmund Fitzgerald Porter because it was the anniversary of the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. There's also another important anniversary that's happening with New Orleans coming to town, which is the 20-year anniversary. I learned about this on the radio today.
20?
I remember it happening.
In 2002, huh?
In 2002.
Yeah.
So the 20-year anniversary of Myron Cope swearing on air.
Oh! Can we get that recording and play it?
I do have it actually. I don't know if I can play it. Let me see if I can play it. But they were playing the Saints. Do you remember this, Ben?
No.
Oh, they were at New Orleans.
They were playing the Saints.
I remember reading about it.
And there was a defensive back for the Saints named Fakir Brown. Fahkir Brown. And Myron Cope was like, he was like, that ball went right through Faker Brown's hands, and Tunch is like, no, it's Fakir Brown, and Cope's like, Fucker Brown. So, all right,
Faker Brown sounds like a really bad band.
It does.
And Tunch opened up for like Kiss.
The Zach Brown knockoff
Detroit's
band.
Cabo Wabo Hall.
Yeah.
That's Sammy Hagar tequila. Fuck it, I'm gone. Don't worry about it.
Have you ever had the Sammy Hagar tequila? It's not bad.
It actually isn't bad. Yeah,
it's not bad.
There's only one way to rock.
Hey, listen, real quickly, since I'm that guy, I went ahead and looked up Chris Boswell's contract. His guaranteed money is paid out. However, he's got a $1.3 million roster bonus due on March 20th. Should
been
they
here a long time too, man?
Should they decide to move on?
7 years is for a kicker
from Boz.
Dog ears.
They would have to do that by March 19th. I'm not saying
George.
they're going to, but you never know.
Yeah, George.
Let me share this real quick.
Right.
Ian, go ahead. Here we go.
You need to put that one up here, Mark.
Let's see. Tell me if the audio works.
34. Okay. Maddox in the gun. And on 3rd and 5, he's back. Fires it. Complete to Mathis for the Pittsburgh touchdown. A quick slant over the middle. Caught it at the 4. turn and went into the end zone, and the Steelers closed the gap to 32-27 with 1:26 to go.
Who was that guy, the cornerback, who allowed it? Faker Brown? 35?
Fakir.
How?
Fakir Brown.
Fakir Brown? Fakir? Is that the guy? Did I have the guy right? 35?
That's the figure.
You could just call him Brown.
He knew exactly what he said. As soon as he said it. Fucker Brown. I was like, Fucker Brown. He knew exactly what he did.
He knew right where he was going.
Myron was the best. Rest in peace, Myron. Hey, by the way, speaking of which, Myron is going into the Hall of Honor this week, too.
That's right. Myron is going into the Hall of Honor this week.
Also,
so appropriate.
R.I.P. Tunch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who also
Tunch
sounded
was
like
the
he did
best.
say fucker. Let's play. He did sound like, I think Cope was like, "Are you saying fucker?"
But Tunch was trying to say fuck here.
Yeah.
He was trying. He's doing his best.
That's a good find, Ian. Oh my God.
And the best is at the end when Tunch is like, you can just call him Brown. Oh, shit. Oh, man, Myron was the best.
Because of the history teacher in me, allow me to take just a quick moment here to educate Melvin on the Edmund Fitzgerald. That is oh yes. That was a ship here in the Great Lakes that sailed pretty much all through the 5 Great Lakes, and 1974 they got caught in one of the worst storms in history, and the ship sank, and it was very sad. All 29 died, but to be honest, it did not get really the notoriety until Gordon Lightfoot, the Canadian folk singer, made a song about it, and then it just took off,
which has one of the most haunting guitar riffs.
It really does.
It is incredibly
is that
haunting.
really folk music, though? I mean, that song.
I don't particularly find that song folk music, but he's always been described as a folk singer.
He was like the Canadian James Taylor.
I mean,
yes.
When I think of folk music, I think of that scene from Animal House where John Belushi's walking down the steps, and the guy's playing the guitar. He's like, "Excuse me," and he grabs the guitar from the guy and smashes the shit out of the guitar, and then hands it back to him.
I love a chicken that
had no bones. Oh God, Ian, I have a football-related question for you.
All right.
With Chase Claypool now in Chicago, who gets the snaps?
Oh, here we go. It's a good one. I love it.
And how does the offense change?
Yes. All right. So, I was going to tell Ryan it was because of that A sus2 chord that's really like a G sus2 because of the capo, but we'll talk guitar stuff later.
Jesus you wouldn't understand it. You're not guitar players.
You wouldn't get it.
All right.
You're not hipster enough to understand this.
All right. Who gets the snaps? All right. So, I mean, considering that Gunnar Olszewski's more or less fumbled his way out of Pittsburgh, or at least out of the lineup, I think it's going to be Steven Sims, who's actually been around the league a little bit, is somewhat of a veteran, kind of knows what's going on in theory, is probably also better suited to the slot role. I can talk tonight.
Slot only.
Yeah, than Chase Claypool was. Like, we talked about this back in the preseason, that they had 3 outside receivers in Claypool, Pickens, and Deontay, and they were going to put all 3 on the field, and someone was going to have to play the slot, and it was Claypool, but he was kind of miscast in the slot. He's, much more suited for an outside receiver.
If we had a decent fucking offensive coordinator who ran verticals from the slot,
are you allowed to do that?
You are allowed to do that. I've heard. I've read that somewhere.
I didn't know that was allowed.
Yeah, it's allowed.
He'll get it. He'll learn that next year when he's back.
That would also require that would also require throwing the ball like between the numbers, which we also don't do. So
yeah, that's actually, you make a very good point, Ian. That's actually true.
You can run whatever fucking routes you want out of the slot. If you don't throw the ball in the middle of the field, it doesn't matter.
Can you imagine when they go through the route in practice, the laughing that the wide receiver group must do when they start doing anything that remotely looks over the middle? They must go through it 50% because it's like, well, we ain't doing this in a game.
Yeah.
Well,
or like in the Philadelphia game, Claypool was in the slot and ran more or less a go route and was wide open at the goal line, and Pickett didn't throw it to him.
Right. Again,
Wrong. Claypool's fault.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm terrible.
What order he was supposed to read that shit in, but yes, Claypool was open. Pickens was open several times in Philly. Both were open a lot 2 weeks ago, and ball wasn't thrown to him. Kenny hasn't played super well.
No, it's coming at him fast, and he's not processing it as quickly as we would have hoped. But I'm not in any way, shape, or form ready to throw the towel in. It's been 4 plus games.
It's what I talked about before. It's such a horrible offensive scheme.
Yeah.
That it's really difficult to evaluate. Really difficult.
And I did want to ask you though, Ben. If we aren't sure what his progressions are, I mean, how does PFF know his progressions?
They fucking don't. PFF is a joke, Mark. Have I mentioned that before on this show?
Okay, I wasn't sure because they seem to know everything.
Mentioned the fact that PFF doesn't know fucking assignments and they suck. And they teach guys, random fucking assholes off the internet, to evaluate. PFF is a joke and shall be treated as such. Moving on.
Anyway,
so Mark got both me and Ben riled up about something. Now you got to get Ryan riled up about something.
Talk shit about guitars.
We're getting there because it is getting close to Casey Kasem time.
Oh, actually.
Oh, yes.
And I'm told that this is a lengthy one.
That reminds me though. Last week after Mark left, we had a little bit of SCB overtime amongst ourselves, and Ryan and I were discussing if the Steelers were a band, what band would they be?
Oh, I do remember this now. Fuck, I got drunk recall.
So was I.
We came up with a very good answer for this one.
You want me to say it?
Yeah, you can say it because this is a collaborative effort between the two of us. So yeah,
I'm going to try to remember this. All right, drunk memory recall. The Steelers as a band are dead and company. They have the nostalgia of the Grateful Dead of the 60s and 70s. You still got your Bob Weir.
They're still playing the same hits that they played.
Yeah.
Ago.
You still get your, you still get your Jack Straws.
But you go see a bunch of guys.
History's gone.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you just got fucking John Mayer up there, And John Mayer represents the younger Steelers, the youth Steelers, the young Steelers that really just suck right now. But you're always hanging on that, you might hear Sugar Magnolia and Eyes of the World back to back. I picture Kenny Pickett walking up there like John Mayer, and everyone's like, yeah, fuck yeah, like let's do this, yeah, and then he just starts playing like some bullshit something, and and everybody hates it.
Yeah,
but it's a dead show, so everyone's still kind of happy about the product. They're hanging on to it. Once again,
well, yeah, I mean.
There are a lot of there's a lot of irony in my life, but I fucking hate the Grateful Dead and hippies, and
I do too.
I still go to Dave Matthews shows.
Yeah, you like Dave Matthews
every time I get a shot.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Who knows? What?
There's this.
What you really need to do, Ryan, is come to Portland sometime and get a whiff of some hippies firsthand.
I'm sure they smell great.
I see enough photos on the internet. I'm good. Man.
They don't smell good. And they also eat a lot of onions and garlic.
Oh, terrific!
On top of the body odor and the patchouli.
Ooh, the dead Kennedy Pickett. Dead
Kennedy Pickett.
Sinister man, you.
I love that. That's good.
Melvin was actually on the same track that I was, because I said the Steelers were like Jet because they had, you know, when Jet started, they had like 2 big hits, right? They had Cold Hard Bitch and that other song.
Are You Gonna Be My Girl?
Are You Gonna Be My Girl? Right. And everybody thought they were going to be like the next big thing, right? They're like, oh, this is the next big like classic rock band. They're going to bring it back. It's going to be, you know, cool again like it was in the 70s. And then they weren't really
Cool in the Gang.
anything.
What?
Wait a minute. Is the Cool in the Gang? They're decent. So
Cool in the Gang was good once.
No, but we said that was my first one, but
ago.
we settled on Dead and Company because they're really just playing somebody else's hits. They're basically wearing the uniforms of someone that was successful and living off their back.
Is the other
living on a prayer,
kind of
like
Go Ninja Go from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2?
Seriously? That was a hit?
No, what was it?
It was not a hit.
Well, he had another one that was like.
We all know Ice Ice Baby, but I'm pretty sure it's like Go Ninja Go from.
There was another one played.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Yeah. Prediction time, gentlemen. The Steelers have a 1:00 kick with the Saints.
There's actually a football game we're playing.
What?
Said we actually have to talk about football?
I know.
I thought we were going to go see Dead and Company.
You can tell it's been a bye week, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Ryan Scarpino, let's start with you. Your prediction on the Saints and the Steelers Sunday from Acrisure.
Oh boy,
Acrisure is hell not calling it that.
Yeah. So the one thing I want to say about the Saints is that they're really good situationally. They're 12th in third down offense and 10th in third down defense. I think that is going to bode well for them in this game. I think Steelers fans are, again, trying to seek comfort in the fact that the schedule looks easy. I don't by any means think
the
that
Steelers' offense is going to turn the corner this week. You just don't know.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say that, and they probably do put up 35.
They don't.
But no, I'm going to go with so the Steelers haven't scored more than 23 in 9 straight games. That is the longest active streak, and it's the 5th longest active streak since the start of the 2020 season. I'm going to say that continues this week. Saints 23-20 in overtime.
Oh, overtime.
Will Lutz with like a 57-yarder facing the old open end. And just fucking drive it right in your heart.
In the rain and the wind. 57
Ian, what do you got?
Yeah,
it's gonna be cold. Actually, it's gonna be like 38 degrees on Sunday in Pittsburgh.
Well, fun. That means our punter will play fantastically.
Yes. Well, it's not Jordan Berry, who is always terrible in the cold. But yeah, no, it's gonna be sunny, but it's gonna be cold.
Are you going?
What's that?
Are you going?
Yeah, I'm going.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna
125
be
kickoff, baby.
Oh yeah, heck yeah! I'm really excited about the
425. I'm sorry.
No, 425 is next week against Cincinnati. Yeah, very excited that game got
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock kickoff. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So prediction time. Both these teams suck on offense.
Yes,
Andy Dalton turns the ball over a lot.
Yeah.
Really, the key to this game is containing Alvin Kamara. That they use him a lot, not only in the running game, but in the passing game. Like, I think he's either their leading receiver or has the most receptions on their team. So if he doesn't have the most yards, he definitely has the most receptions. That they put the ball in his hands a lot. So whatever the Steelers have to do schematically to take Kamara out of the game, which would actually like require them to, put a coverage linebacker on him or something. And Miles Jack was questionable on the injury report today, so that might not be a good thing. But at any rate, they really need to contain Kamara. If he goes wild, then we're screwed. I never like warm weather teams, especially ones that play in a dome, coming north when it's going to be cold outside. Andy Dalton has some experience playing in the cold from Cincinnati, but it's not exactly the same thing. And New Orleans is always just a different team when they have to play outside in the cold. This isn't Drew Brees and Sean Payton anymore. This is, a different kind of Saints bunch. They do have a good defense. Our offense stinks. I'm going to say somehow we find a way to score 2 touchdowns, and I'm going to go with Steelers. Oh boy, I'm gonna go Steelers 20, Saints 16.
You fucker.
Okay, so that's I'm sorry. Scarps went with the Saints in overtime.
Yeah.
So we got 1-1. Ben, what do you got?
Well,
did I steal your exact score?
You did.
Oh my
Close.
goodness, that's
Close.
amazing.
Close. You've got a dome team coming into a cold weather stadium that potentially could be windy.
Right.
And we mentioned that it gets cold in Pittsburgh, and if it's windy, it's fucking colder.
Yep.
I can't believe how fucking cold it gets in Pittsburgh when it's windy. I can't stand it. Yeah. So I think it's going to have an effect. I think that, as Ian pointed out, both offenses are horrible. I think that the Saints do not have a great offensive line, and that when Andy Dalton is pressured, he makes mistakes, and that he'll cough the ball up a couple of times. And I have the Steelers winning this one 20-17. Which I mean, honestly, that was where I was going before you said it. And so when you said 20-16, I was like, you fucking bastard.
All three of us, though, have the Steelers scoring 20 points.
Yeah.
And the over-under on this game is 40, so good luck on that one.
I'm going to tell you, bet the under. Just bet the under.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's my advice.
It's 20.
Forget about the outcome.
In overtime, that's always over.
Bet the under.
Yeah. And I cannot believe anything until I see it. So I'm going Saints 19, Steelers 13. I just don't have any faith in this offense. I'm sorry.
That's because Steel Dad is always really negative. And send your hate mail.
I'm 5-3 on my picks right now. By the
way, all hate mail to Steel Dad.
That's right.
I think you will.
Right.
Yeah.
You can. Is Casey Kasem ready?
Yeah, he's always ready. He's always ready.
All right, let's end this one on.
Wait a minute. Wait, is Casey Kasem stumbling drunk yet?
I think he always was, right?
You probably should do some shots.
Myron Cope was for sure.
It's always way better when Casey's drunk.
Yeah. American Top 40. Hello, everyone. It's the week of November 10th, 1984. Dear Casey, Ryan from Pittsburgh, and Ian Wright, dear Casey. Apologies.
Oh, yeah, this was my request. Yes.
God.
Obviously, I can't write. Dear Casey, not a bad bye week. 1, the Steelers couldn't disappoint me. And 2, Kenny Pickett couldn't throw another interception. I really enjoyed the chatter on Steelers Twitter asking why Malik Willis isn't getting as much criticism as Pickett. Perhaps it's because Willis was a third-round pick that was always going to have a boomer bust potential. It's not like Pickett was a 10th-year senior that was taken 20th overall and was supposed to be the most pro-ready. Whatever Steelers Nation needs to sleep at night, I guess. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen in these final 9 games on offense. Could it get any worse? Will it get better? It's just been a huge combination of suck all season. As you know, Matt Canada has been a big factor. His concepts are vanilla. His designs are chocolate. And by chocolate, I mean picture the worst bathroom imaginable, and you have to take the biggest dump of your life. It's going to be a photo finish. You get to the toilet, lift the lid, and there's about 2 years worth of excrement already in the bowl, and there's no way to flush it. That's the kind of chocolate I'm talking about, Casey. That guy sucks. My pen pal and I, Ian, texted this week. That's right, Casey, we're from the future. He said Canada Dry is so out of touch. Well, Ryan and Ian, you're in for a treat. You're on the right track. The dynamic duo of Daryl Hall and John Oates cannot be stopped. Since the Steelers will be starting all over again in 2023, perhaps Hall and Oates can provide some adult education one-on-one, and that'll make my dreams come true. But if you keep Canada, I can't go for that. No can do. Off of Big Bang Boom, Moving up 6 spots this week to number 6 is Out of Touch by Hall & Oates.
Christ, I had to mute myself during that one. I was laughing so hard. Oh, fuck.
I love
I
the
got a little carried away with
way
that,
we get
but I
to
was
the
having
song.
too much fun.
That was a good
That was
one,
good.
there, Casey. That was good.
That was good.
Holy
yeah.
shit.
And on that note, thanks everybody for jumping on tonight. We always appreciate our regulars and anybody else new that jumps on. Please do. It makes the show that much better. We love it. For these three Yahoos, this is Steel Dad signing off on the SCB Steelers podcast presented by Deck Roofing Incorporated of South Florida. And hey, go Steelers.
Ravens suck.